A higher vibrational frequency for the individual is secured by unconditional love and acceptance for all, and the feelings that come with this state of mind. When an individual has the ability to hold this state of mind, called enlightenment, the ascended masters can connect more easily to the person and begin to communicate with the soul. After this connection is made, they send through messages of wisdom, guidance, love, and support to assist that person to evolve. Before a person reaches this state of enlightenment, which takes discipline, the individual is essentially left alone to wander on the path of learning lessons. This is not done to punish the soul, but out of the respect and wisdom the masters have for our free will. In each new lifetime, individuals are tested for 7 years before the masters begin to make their presence known. This assures that the soul is indeed ready to assume the responsibility for the individual's own actions and thoughts, and that the person is sincere about the direction in which he or she is headed. What is so fascinating about this process is that it is applied to everyone who comes into embodiment. Even Jesus had to undergo this experience. For Earth is a karmic planet, which means that the veil must go down for each person once the soul arrives on the planet. Since the Earth plane is such a difficult place to learn the lessons because of the thickness of the energy surrounding the planet, all souls must undergo the same and equal treatment each time they come into embodiment. There are no exceptions. It is the intensity of the light within each person, the character of our souls, and the choices we make that determine advancement through the test. Our progress determines how quickly the masters will make their presence known to us in a more direct manner. Every soul on earth is assigned to what is called the ashram of one or more ascended masters. An ashram is a secluded place where religious and spiritual teachings are learned and practiced. Each of us is assigned to a master in the cosmic hierarchy, whether we know it or not on a conscious level. When the 7 years of testing are complete, the master makes contact with the student. The saying is, when the student is ready, the master teacher will appear. Every person on earth is included within the Christ consciousness ashram, whether one follows the Christian religious belief or not. For you see, contrary to popular belief, the ascended masters do not follow one religion. They follow the beliefs of oneness and enlightenment. That means they honor the teachings of all the great masters who have come before and left their teachings to assist us to evolve. This truth is evident when you look at history. Whenever one of these illumined beings came to earth, there were no religions. Yet all of these masters were divine in their own right, even though they were not born into a specific religion. It was only after beings like Jesus, Buddha, Zoroaster, and Mohammed left the earth plane that religions sprang up. Humans designed the rules and the regulations that the master's followers were required to obey in order to achieve salvation. This process should not be attributed to the masters who came to earth to serve. All of these masters were recipients of divine words and did their best in each of the civilizations into which they were born to bring higher truths and wisdom to assist people to evolve. The messengers that were sent from above matched the needs of the particular civilization. The celestial hierarchy's plan today decrees that no more ascended masters will come to earth one at a time. This time the journey is our journey. It is up to us now. We must learn the truths and live by them. We are being held accountable now for the knowledge that has been delivered to us, and we must integrate these truths into every aspect of our lives. We are the ascended masters of tomorrow. We are the initiates in embodiment who now are being considered for positions in the ascended realms. The ascended masters collectively see humanity as one. They see the beauty and spark of light in each person's soul, and they know that each is a child of one God. They do not see our differences. They see only our similarities as children of the one Creator. They know that we are all struggling to evolve. Jesus said there are many paths, but only one way. Translated, this means there are many paths, religions, but there is only one way to salvation, enlightenment. He conveyed this thought in another way in John 8:12, when he told us that he was the way, or the example, if you will. I am the light of the world. Earth's vibrations are being raised, and so are ours. This brings us closer and closer to the frequency of the Ascended Masters, and we are slowly closing the gap between their frequency and ours. With this closure, more and more individuals on Earth can now receive telepathic communications directly from the celestial hierarchy, a gift that was granted only to the spiritual elite in lifetimes past. Thousands of people today, worldwide, have begun receiving beautiful messages of encouragement and guidance. For evidence of this, one need only look at the hundreds of publications published annually. As vibrational frequencies are raised, clearer messages are being received. This means that the connections are getting stronger, an indication that the vibrational frequencies of some individuals are truly getting higher. The same or similar information is being received by individuals all over the world, a phenomenon that was not possible years ago because the connections were not so clear. For the average person not aware of the spiritual awakening presently encompassing Earth, the thought of communicating directly with Jesus, Buddha, or some of the other masters may be alarming, even frightening. After all, was not such communication left only to the saintly in years past? And then there is the deep remembrance of what we did to the saints for claiming they heard voices or received messages from God. Nearly every one of these souls who achieved sainthood was martyred. Therefore, many deep fears come to the surface and close down our minds to the acceptance that this communication might be a reality for us today. We have been programmed that we are sinners, pathetic souls who have little or no hope for evolvement. So how could we possibly have a direct line to the Ascended Masters? The Ascended Masters have stated repeatedly that they want us to know them as our elder brothers and sisters, and as those who have walked the path before us to show us the way. We need to begin to think of them as a team of highly evolved beings who were sent to Earth one by one to bring enlightenment over the ages. They were not prophets or beings who contradicted one another for the purpose of starting new religions, whose adherents eventually would hate one another and cause wars, hatred, death, and destruction. No, all who chose to come down to Earth to serve were souls who did the best they could with what they had to work with in the civilization in which they chose embodiment. All of them should be honored as a collective team who brought messages of peace, love, and enlightenment to the world. We should be thanking all of them for their commitment to helping us evolve. A question that needs to be asked today is, if Jesus incarnated today, which religion would he choose to join? Would he choose Catholicism, Methodism, Mormonism, Buddhism, or Judaism? Then, after he chose one, would he berate all the other beliefs and publicly tell all others that they were wretched sinners who would perish at the hands of his Father because they were not following the one religion he chose? Would Jesus subscribe to Buddhism, honoring his colleague Gautama Buddha, who did what no other human had been able to accomplish until then? Or would he choose another religion and then vilify his colleagues and glorify his followers? The answer to these questions seems apparent, so why do we continue to dwell on our differences and feed on these differences that result in separatism? Why do we not see our similarities and likenesses when we will evolve to the point where we see only oneness instead of duality, like the Ascended Masters?